Hey, good morning, everybody. What's up? It is Wednesday morning, and I am happy that you are here joining us at 8:30. As usual, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30. I'm here, and so are you. So it's nice to see you. We have an incredible episode for you today. Oh, I feel some rattling behind my chair. There's Lovey. Hi. Good morning. So anyway, we have a great episode for you today, and it's called 5 Incredible Things That Your Brain Does Every Day. Good morning, Sarah. If you thought you were amazing before this, you are going to be like, wow, I am incredible every single day. It's going to blow your mind, I'm telling you. Like after some research and reading books about it and stuff, I am blown away by what your brain does every day. So first, let me tell you though, something really exciting, trying something new next week. I have so many people come to me and say, Julie, I want to do Facebook Live, but I'm feeling afraid, or I'm afraid of failing, or I don't like the way I speak, or I don't know how to do it. So I decided last week, I'm going to give you guys a free class on everything I've learned from Facebook Live in the last year. Good morning, Catherine. It's great to see you. Good morning, Kyle. So next week on Tuesday and Thursday at 6:30 in the evening, I'm going to be giving you guys a class. It's a 2-part class. I'm breaking it into 2 shorter segments on everything I know about Facebook Live, because it's a great way to share your life. It's a great way to share your business, your thoughts, and all of that. So make sure that you tune in and send me your email address, message me your email address, and I'll send you all the notes that you're going to need prior to coming on the online. So good morning, Melanie. Great to see you. All right, let's just jump right to it. We are talking today about 5 amazing things that your brain does every single day. Now, I kind of made a difference between the mind and the brain. I separated them. They're 2 separate things. So I'm talking about the brain, your actual physical structure, and versus the mind, which is actually more of your soul and your thoughts and all of that. So we're talking about the brain today. So the first thing that your brain does every day is when you wake up, your brain is full of baby nerve cells. Your brain is growing every day. And the most amazing thing about that is that you get to determine the structure of your brain. As you begin to sort out your thoughts through the day, your brain actually grows according to your thoughts. So the structure of your brain, you can change it by changing the way that you think. And so every time when you decide to think on a specific thing, you're creating a pathway in your brain. So for instance, when we did dyslexia therapy with Livy every day for 7 months, what we were doing is we were doing the same exercises over and over to create a pathway going to that automatic reading center. Well, when you think the same things over and over, like whether it is, I am totally capable of doing this, or whether it is, I am so stupid, you are making pathways in your brain, and you're building your brain literally. You're building your brain that way. Isn't that interesting and amazing? All right, that's the first one, is that you build your brain every day. The second one is that, check this out, 400 billion actions per second in your non-conscious mind. Your non-conscious mind, 400 billion actions per second. Do you know how many zeros that is? It's at least, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 zeros, right? I'm not a mathematician, but 11 zeros, 400 billion actions per second, like that, 400 billion. Your brain just did 400 billion actions. But our conscious mind only is aware of about 2,000 of those. It filters out all of that stuff you don't need, and it only brings you to your conscience 2,000 of those actions. Isn't that phenomenal? 400 billion per second. Your brain is like a machine, you guys. It is filtering out all this stuff that we don't need and still functioning and still doing this. And I thought that was an amazing rate. 400 billion actions per second in your non-conscious mind. Incredible. All right, number 3 is, I have to look at it. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, this is crazy, you guys. Number 3 is that every single day, your brain creates and sends more messages than all of the cell phones in the world. I had to look that one up because I didn't really believe it, but I looked it up and it's true. Every day, your brain creates and sends more messages than all of the cell phones in the world. Do you know how many cell phones are in the world? There's a lot, and I don't know how many there are, but there's a lot. So your brain has about 80 to 100 million little tiny neurons inside, and they are sending messages to each other all the time, telling each other what to do. And I thought that was an incredible, incredible thing. And now listen to this. This is so crazy. If they can make a robot that did all of the things that your brain does, this is just still related to the neurons and all of that and electricity. If they can make a robot that did all the things your brain does, it would take a small hydroelectric plant to power that robot to do all of the things that your brain does. Your brain is about 2% of your body weight, and it consumes about 20% of the energy that you put into your body, the food, the energy that's coming from the food. Your brain is sucking it up because it's such an important part of your body. And so here's a crazy thing. Your brain also, this is still related, I'm still on point 3, but your brain also makes so much electricity that if they could kind of capture it in a weird way, and because you can't, if they could capture it, you could charge a cell phone, an iPhone, in 68 hours. Damien said that's not impressive because it's almost 3 days, but I'm like, holy cow, my brain makes enough energy to charge 33% of my iPhone in 1 day. That is crazy. So that's pretty phenomenal that your brain makes that many messages. Your brain creates electricity, and it is using energy every day to do it. Okay, now this is kind of one of my favorites that you might not know that is great. So number 4, so we did number 3 is about your baby nerve cells and the structure of your brain. Number 2 was about 400 billion actions per second in your non-conscious mind. Number 3 was your brain makes and sends more signals than all the cell phones in the world in 1 day. And then number 4 is, I did not know this before I read this book, but your brain has a unique thought pattern like a thumbprint. And there are 7 basic pillars of our brain structure that it goes through. There's intrapersonal, interpersonal, logical, mathematical, kinesthetic, music, linguistic, I know I'm missing one, I think. Oh yeah, and visual spatial. I think that's 7, right? Intrapersonal, which means like inside. Interpersonal, which is like together. Linguistic, logic and math, kinesthetic, musical, and visual spatial. So there's 7 areas of your brain, and basically what happens is when you have a thought, it processes through each of those 7 areas. But here's the funny thing. Every person has a different order and a different bandwidth of how long that thought resides in it. And they're called pillars. And the top 2 pillars, your top 2 pillars, are the way that you make your temporary memories the most. So for me, for instance, that's in this book called The Gift in You, and it's all about how your brain is unique. And one time on Mother's Day, my family was like, what do you want for Mother's Day? And I was like, I want you guys to take this test. And it's basically like this long test, and it helps you understand what pillars you process your brain through. So for like Miranda's, her 90% is like music. I mean, that's like a crazy percentage. Damien also, one of his biggest was music. For me, my biggest is interpersonal. So that means I'm taking in information and I'm processing it, analyzing it really deeply. And my second pillar that I go to the most is interpersonal. That means I'm sharing what I learned, and it's so true. That's my sweet spot. Like when I take in information and I'm thinking about it, and then I share it with you. That is like one of the joys in my life. And so it's all about finding the way that your brain processes through those particular areas. So that's like a thumbprint. You have your own unique way of processing every thought. That's how we put it into our memories. So anyway, that's pretty fun that you have a very unique brain. And then the last one that I love is the 5th one, is that your brain during the day is you're using your frontal lobe to reason, but at night when you're sleeping, your frontal lobe is not as active, or I don't even know if it's active at all, but what's happening is you're sorting through all the stuff that you learned during the day. So your brain is not asleep. Your brain is sorting without your frontal lobe, and that's why when we have dreams, they can be really weird, and they can be related to what we're learning, but a lot of times they're related to emotions. So you have to reverse engineer the dream in a sense. You have to start with the emotions. So when you're analyzing your dreams, don't start with the reasoning, because that's your daytime activity. Your nighttime activity is sorting through all the stuff in your heart, in your mind that you saw that day. And so when you're analyzing your dreams, start with your emotions. Good morning, Christy. Great to see you. So that is 5 amazing things about your brain. And there's just one more that I want to add, and that is that you are infinitely intelligent. You have the capacity to be as intelligent as you want to be. All you got to do is put it in there. Good morning, Kay, my Tennessee girl. How are you? I miss you. Good morning, Christy. So, you know, there's just number 1 was the baby nerve cells, and you get to grow your brain. Number 2, 400 billion actions per second in your non-conscious brain. Number 3, your brain makes enough electricity and signals more than all the cell phones in the world in one day. And number 4 is that you have a unique thought pattern that takes you through 7 pillars, and they're unique in order and unique in how long your thoughts spend in there. Good morning, Roxanne. And lastly is that your brain sorts through your day while you're sleeping because your frontal lobe isn't reasoning, and I think that's pretty amazing. And then just, you guys, you can be as intelligent as you want to be. There's nothing holding you back. And I have friends that think that they're dumb, or they're dumb at this, or they're dumb at that. No, you are not. You are created to be an intelligent being, and the way that you can grow your brain is incredible. Einstein, when he dedicated his body to science, and when they took his brain out and they saw it, it was smaller. Oh, good morning, It didn't show up on there. Good to see you. I'm happy. Hey, he's from Florida. We got some Florida people on here too. Yeah. So anyway, when Einstein, this is crazy, when they took his brain out, it was smaller than the average person's. However, it had more neural connections. So he was picturing and visualizing and creating those neural connections. And when you actually imagine yourself doing something, it creates the same pathway as if you actually did it. And so the way that Einstein solved problems was he visualized himself in that problem, and he would pull it out and extract it out, and he would picture himself in sort of a 3-dimensional spatial picture, and that's how he would see, like, E equals MC squared. That's how he came up with that answer. So he spent all this time visualizing and picturing and stuff, and he had so many, like, interconnected neurons in his brain. So, but you can do that too. You have the capacity. Good morning, Nicole. Great to see you. So let's end with this. You are amazing. Your brain is amazing, and it's phenomenal. And you can be as intelligent as you want to be. And I hope that you remember this today, and you're going about your day, you're like, hey, I am awesome. Oh, hey, Mark, good to see you. So I hope you remember today how awesome you are, how beautifully and intricately and uniquely created you are, and that you are a gift. I love you guys. May your minds be fierce and your heart strong and your spirit kind. Sweetie wants to say goodbye. Hi, sweetie.
Fun fact about Albert Einstein, his brain is smaller than most people, like she said, but he's his full brain power. And he also daydreamed when he was a kid.
daydreamed?
Yeah, he daydreamed when he was a kid, so he got kicked out of like a bunch of schools.
Oh, that's good. Here, come here. Let's show everybody. Now she is covered in fur. Can you see the cat hair? It's like a layer of fur right here. All right. Bye.